I just wanted to enjoy my son's graduation, but my boomer parents made it all about themselves, and I've just about had enough of them in my life. Posted by you/SimmerUnknown. I just need to vent. My son's high school graduation was earlier this week. I had invited my parents, both in their late 70s, at the beginning of the year. They kept seesawing on whether they were coming or not. They eventually agreed to come about 3 weeks before graduation, which was okay, cool. They had to drive in from out of state. On the day of, the schedule was pretty clear to them. The ceremony starts at X time, doors open an hour beforehand. Be there 15 minutes before that because that's when parking opens. Parking was going to fill up quickly because over 250 kids were graduating, and some of these kids had about 7 generations of families showing up. I told them to meet me at the parking garage 15 minutes before the doors opened. So what did they do? Leave their hotel, located 25 minutes away, 1 minute before that. Got beached at for not waiting for them, even though, 15 minutes after the doors opened, it was turning into standing room only. When we realized they weren't going to be there and parked by the time the doors opened, my husband, other kid, and I went to wait in line. Thank goodness we did, because about 5 minutes later, the line was down the street to the next block over. They wanted us to come back out to get them, which was impossible because the sea of people was all pushing one way. Not about to battle an entire army of people to get back out, no other way out either. We were lucky to get in when we did and get the seats we did, because by the time my parents texted that they had arrived, it was turning into standing room only. My mom then spent the entire first part of the ceremony people watching with a super judgy face. Kept telling my other kid that the lady with all the piercings and tattoos probably doesn't have a job, is going nowhere in life, etc., etc. I shushed her and got the look. Which no longer affects me since I just spent the last 18 years improving the look. Also, for some reason, my son's full middle name didn't get read out, they just said his initial instead. I don't know why or how it got missed, but I nearly missed getting pictures of my son getting his diploma on stage because she was bitching about it. Some pictures turned out blurry because she kept smacking my arm. Luckily, my husband got some pictures, but like holy crap. I would have cried if we didn't get some sort of decent picture. She snapped at my other kid because we did the whole cheering thing when his name was called. Compared to the other people in the arena, I doubt he even heard us, since it was just me and the other kid. Husband couldn't because he was trying to line up shots around people walking in front of us and his brain couldn't do 2 things at once, lol. One of the kid speakers, class president, maybe, was talking about evolution and how we got to the point we are at today, and my mom complained about that. They should be thanking God. God got them here. Not even a Christian school, mother. She also complained because some of the young ladies were wearing headscarves, they let them in this school? Like Jesus H. Christ on a cracker, it's a effing public school, Mom. They're still people too, just like you, though probably less of a beach. Also got comments from her about the kids with green hair, blue hair, purple hair, and one girl with clown clothes on. They are going nowhere in life. Like, they just graduated, their life is just starting. The girl with the clown clothes was wearing a bunch of different graduation cords and had her name in the program with several scholarships listed. I pointedly told my other kid, and this is why we don't judge people based on their looks. They have tried to talk my son out of going to his choice of college. They think it's going to be too far away from me. Once we drop him off, we have to move across the country because of military orders, and that it's in a bad part of town. They're trying to paint some picture that my son is going to be stabbed, shot, mugged, and left for dead. The city the school is in has some crime, obviously, but the college itself has released their safety reports and hasn't had many issues or crimes. I use her favorite line when I voice a worry, it's all up to God. I'm not even religious or Christian anymore. Managed to get the look again when I said that. They are here for the rest of the weekend. We have another promotion ceremony for the other kid this weekend, 8th grade. So, send help? I think dealing with them has given me gray hairs. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Why, just why continue a relationship with this person, regardless of familial connection? Ops response. She wasn't always this bad, or at least, maybe not that I could see. I think once she realized I stopped giving a crap about her religion, she decided it was time for the gloves to come off. Even though I have told her that's one of the main reasons I have issues with Christian beliefs. I moved away 4 years ago to be with my husband and haven't really seen her much since then. I never visit back home, and she has only come out this way once before. I only invited her because my son and she used to be close, and he wasn't opposed to the idea of her coming. Commenter 2. One of the hardest lessons for me to learn was that accepting or extending invitations made out of obligation was almost always a mistake. It took being ambushed by my elder siblings and pressed for money to make me say no more, and to stop caring about keeping the peace. Ops response. Yeah, my husband and therapist have been helping me understand and set boundaries. I still waver, obviously, but I've also made improvements. Like, I no longer feel obligated to call her every single effing day. I've been sticking with a twice-monthly short phone call, mainly to be like, you still alive? Okay, great, call you later. Commenter 3. I just want to comment on the look. It hurt my feelings and scared me when I was a kid. It was such a look of absolute venom and hatred. Anyway, I remember when I finally recognized that the look was a ridiculous tactic to try on a grown woman. Like, seriously, Mom, do you think narrowing your eyes, pursing your lips, and looking at me with hate is a good move? I just roll my eyes when she does it now. Nice try, you gonna ground me now? Take away my phone privileges? Give me a effing break. Ops response. I don't even use the look that much. Rarely for my kids, because I'm a firm believer in talking through things with them rather than glaring at them or trying to spark my laser beam into their skull. I did match the look my mom gave me, and you could see the initial shock when I gave it back to her. Don't think she realized I can give it back just as easily. Update 3 weeks later. I have gotten a few DMs from people wondering if I made it through my parents' visit. I did make it through, but my relationship with my mother did not. We are currently not on speaking terms. Well, to be more specific, I am not on speaking terms with her. She has been refusing to accept that. The weekend after my post, we had made plans to meet at 10 a.m. They showed up at 8 a.m. Ready to go, with no place to go. They made plans to stay for so long but made zero plans to fill that time, thinking I would magically come up with something to do. At 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Like, I can't even think straight due to lack of coffee at this hour. I am not a morning person, and have no idea where my bra is, but sure, I'll pull something to do out of my backside. They were just like, let's just do what you normally would do on a weekend. Which, no, let's not. 1. It'd be physically impossible for them to do, considering my mother probably needed a walker a decade ago but refuses to use one because it ages her. 2. They have no interest in video games or board games. I already tried getting them to play a board game previously and my mom stuck her nose up at that. And 3. There's a lot to do here, but 95% of the things worth doing are outdoors. My mom cries her head off if it's over 71 degrees outside. It's always, I'm melting, it's too hot, I'm melting. Like she is the Wicked Witch of the Midwest. Also, my family and I don't really go out every weekend. We like being home, we like being alone. So there I was, scouring the internet for things to do with elderly people who can't walk in our area, and still getting hit with go hike here or there or over there, while wondering if parent daycare was a thing. Mom was chatting with my husband when she decided to start talking about her favorite subject, Emma, my stepsister/her stepdaughter. The way she gushes about Emma makes you think Emma craps out gold nuggets and pukes up diamonds, emeralds, and rubies, all while having the cure to cancer in her head. When our parents got married, she kept asking me, why can't you be more like Emma? Like, I don't know, Mom, maybe because I'm still a teenager while Emma is pushing 30 at the time. Naturally, Emma was going to be more ahead in life. But from the day they married until now, I was constantly compared to Emma, told to be like Emma, and occasionally called Emma. When I had a mental breakdown in my early 20s and ended up in the psych ward, I was told to get over it or return to God. But when Emma had a similar situation, it was all she needs, all the help she can get. Emma marries a crap stain of a man who abused her, and my mom is ready to scorch the world. But when I was dating a guy who turned abusive, it was my fault. You get the point. I have no real issue with Emma. Though, it took me quite a bit of therapy to get to the point where I no longer resented her. These days, we are mainly Facebook friends, liking each other's random photos. So she is gushing to my husband about Emma. I'm only half listening until I hear her say, clear as effing day, Emma is like the daughter I never had. My husband and her husband went deer in headlights shocked. My son, 18, said, WTF. It took my daughter, 14, a few seconds longer to process what she heard, but even she caught it. She's not a morning person either. I basically just said, well, guess that's that. You can get the F out now. Of course, I was hit with the, what did I do? My son repeated what she said, so she started her gaslighting BS. You took it the wrong way. That's not what I meant. Etc., etc., etc. I think, with the help of those who commented on my last post, I shined up my backbone a little because I just told her to get the F out. My husband says I told her, if you don't have a daughter, then why the F do I have some crusty old farts in my house, and threatened to throw all her crap out the window. I don't remember saying any of that, but my son backs it up. I don't remember a lot in the few minutes it took to get her tossed out. After she finally left my house, I broke down crying and got sick. I don't do confrontations very well. She keeps trying to call, text, and email me. My husband managed to get her blocked on my phone, so at least I don't get bombarded with calls and texts anymore. On the first day, before I blocked her, I had over 50 missed calls and 40 text messages from her. She also managed to fill up my voicemail, not that I listened to any of it. My husband deleted all of them for me too. She only has my old email account that I use for spam now, so I'm not really seeing those either, though last I looked, over a week ago, there were around 20 emails just from her. I'm also starting to get a few letters in the snail mail from her too, so oh joy. I guess she told some sob story to Emma too because she reached out to me. Luckily, she listened to my side and just told me, good for you. She also told me she has never been a huge fan of my mom for reasons like this but only plays nice and stays civil for her dad's sake. That made me feel a little better, knowing that Saint Emma dislikes her too. I was a mess for about a week after everything happened. Still am a mess, but less so. My husband and kids have been working hard to distract me, and I have been keeping up with my therapy sessions every week. She even got me in for an emergency session the next Monday. Luckily, my summer is about to get busy. Husband is taking a month off, we're having a garage sale, preparing to move to a new state, getting my son ready for college, so I will have plenty to do to keep my mind off things. I did tell my kids they were allowed to have a relationship with either grandma or grandpa, but they were both like, nah, they made my mom cry. Then they proceeded to demolish me in Mario Kart. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. You are free now. You no longer have to try and earn their respect. You no longer have to deal with their expectations, and no more of their BS. Start building your self-esteem and do not be like them to your children. Ops response. My therapist has been giving me some homework that is targeted towards self-esteem or self-confidence, something I have always been lacking. I'd like to think I've broken whatever parenting cycle in regard to my kids. I kind of viewed how I was raised and how my parents parented me as a what not to do guide. My kids and I have a great relationship. Both have said they feel comfortable coming to me for any reason, and have done so. Commenter 2. You've absolutely broken the cycle of abuse, and you should be so proud. I'm going to make an assumption that you're Gen X just based on your kids' ages and such, though it's true for older millennials as well. It's been our generation's curse, as well as our privilege, to break the cycle of abuse, to recognize that kids are humans with feelings and thoughts, and that we never deserve to be treated the way we were either. I see it daily, a generation fighting their damnedest to not be like their parents. I think we're succeeding. I really, truly do. Not only are the kids going to be alright, but so are we. Congrats on the shiny steel spine. But dude, seriously, you let them beat you in Mario Kart? Ops response. According to Google, I'm a millennial, 87. I was born late to my mom, 39 at the time, and had my oldest young, 19. But I do agree, I see a lot of people my age trying to raise their kids differently. Even when my kids were young, I gave them choices on various matters: hair, clothes, friends. Obviously not so much on food, otherwise we'd be eating chocolate cake for dinner daily. My mom never liked that I allowed my son to have longer hair or allowed my daughter to dress emo, goth/emo, lots of black involved. In my defense, I haven't played Mario Kart in ages, while they play it every so often. May have to practice secretly so I can get my revenge.